Live from Amarillo, working in the Panhandle spirit, ABC7 News Daybreak starts now.
Coming up on Daybreak, West Texas A&M University's president, Dr. Walter Windler, announced earlier this week the cancellation of a campus drag show. Now there could be an uphill legal battle for the university for canceling that show. And when Dr. Windler announced the show's cancellation, he noted that the supported work of the Trevor Project, calling it a noble cause to prevent suicide in the LGBTQ community. Hear from a local licensed counselor what it means for self-care when it comes to negative output. Plus, the youth sports leagues are coming together to improve their baseball and softball facilities for local athletes. The announcement of a 10-year lease agreement with Amarillo, taking over 2 places for youth sports to play. Your morning Daybreak News starts right now. Good morning and thank you for joining us. The time right now is 4:30. Before we get into our morning headlines, let's get a check of our Thursday morning weather with meteorologist Corbin Voges. Good morning, Corbin.
Good morning, Johnny. Yeah, got a quiet start to the day. A lot of cloud cover over the region, so that's keeping us a bit on the mild side. None of us really below freezing right now. We do have some rain chances tonight, albeit they're not very good, but that is something we have introduced into the forecast.
Yeah, that'd be nice to have a little rain right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's take a look outside. You can see those high clouds moving in from the southwest. That's that Pacific plume of moisture. It's mostly elevated, so if any of that tries to rain out, it'll likely evaporate before it gets to the ground level. We may need that cold front to ease far enough into the region by this evening before we finally start to see some those disturbances again kind of enter a more favorable environment to maybe produce some light rain. But that big trough starting to dig down towards San Diego. We've got a chance for some severe storms to our south and east, but that is something that's probably going to stay outside of the panhandles. Right now, 60 degrees outside in Amarillo, 49 in Dumas. Winds are light out of the west, anywhere from 5 to 15 miles per hour. And for your bus stop forecast today, we'll be warm again, climbing back up into the 70s. But we'll take a look at your rain chances coming up in 15 minutes. Johnny?
Thank you, Corbin. Well, student protests continued for the second day on the WT campus over the school president's decision to cancel a drag show fundraiser, benefiting an organization that provides crisis support services to LGBTQ young people. Among the protesters were a group of students who prayed for peace and unity over the campus.
The unrest on campus for sure. I think it's a very trying time for everyone on campus, and there's a lot of nerves, a lot of people are on edge, and we believe that there's power in prayer and that there's power in the gospel of Jesus Christ, and believing in that means we have to act on it, and so we acted on it today by praying.
Well, Dr. Walter Windler sent an email to students, faculty, and staff on Monday saying that drag shows are demeaning to women. And Dr. Windler has not made any statements since his letter, and the school told ABC7 yesterday that it would not comment on the pending litigation. And the university would not say if a lawsuit has actually been filed against the school or the president. Amarillo attorney Ryan Brown told us that this could be an uphill legal battle for the university.
I think it's going to be hard to defend this based on federal and state case law regarding the First Amendment and even running afoul of their own policy.
Well, we've learned that WT's Faculty Senate held an emergency meeting yesterday, but the school did not reply to questions about what was discussed. And in Dr. Windler's letter announcing the cancellation, he noted that he supported the work of the Trevor Project, and he called it a noble cause to prevent suicide in the LGBTQ community. In a recent study done by the Trevor Project, 82% of transgender and non-binary youth say that threats of violence against LGBTQ spaces, such as community centers, pride events, drag shows, or hospitals and clinics that serve transgender people, often give them stress or anxiety. Caleb Baker, a licensed counselor in Amarillo, said he tries to instill in his patients self-care, especially for those who may be shutting down due to all the negative attention. But for those on the outside looking in, it is even more important to spread kindness.
He has to show a level of empathy on their own, but at the same time, it is 2023, and the LGBTQ community has done the work in terms of providing empathy, and I think that it's time for people not in the community to show up.
Well, Baker says that losing that sense of acceptance can be challenging, so he tries to steer his clients towards those people in their circle who are more supportive. Well, the driver who ran a red light and killed a woman over a weekend in Amarillo has been charged with intoxication manslaughter, and he is now in the Potter County Jail. Police say 38-year-old Patrick Wayne Nooner was going over 70 miles per hour in his pickup truck when he ran a red light and plowed into a car at 3rd and Buchanan. According to the criminal report, Nooner sped through several red lights and admitted he was smoking meth before the crash. The driver of the car, Laura Sanders, was killed. Sanders' husband, David, has created a GoFundMe page to help with the funeral expenses. And a fatal head-on collision left one man dead in southwest Amarillo overnight. This crash happened in the 6400 block of the hillside just past midnight. According to police, 2 pickups collided head-on in the center turning lane. 56-year-old Larry Granado died from his injuries at the hospital, and 2 people in the other truck were taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. And in the Texas Panhandle, youth sports leagues are coming together to improve baseball and softball facilities for the local athletes. Yesterday at Hodgetown, the Texas Panhandle Youth Sports Foundation announced a 10-year lease agreement with the city of Amarillo that will allow them to take over the Rick Klein Baseball Complex and the John Stiff Memorial Baseball Fields. Additionally, the foundation also donated over $125,000 towards the Kids Inc. Rock Rose Sports Project.
Baseball and softball are kind of unique instruments. You need a field to really go play on it, and that field needs to have a place for ground balls to roll and backstops and all of those things. So there's just a little bit more to making a practice facility and a game facility than just being out on an open dirt, open grass field.
Herrick believes the new partnership and investment will allow plenty of space for teams to practice, play games, and one day host tournaments. And as part of Texas Tech University's centennial celebration, a mobile billboard made 3 stops in Amarillo. We caught up with it at Amarillo High School yesterday morning. It showcases the university in a fun and creative manner, giving people a chance to get their pictures taken on the truck and take home centennial swag.
A lot of people outside the Texas Tech community don't know about our centennial, but we also want to recognize the various areas of the state that have sent students to us and that have been a part of our campus community here for the last 100 years.
Judge James Mosley of Borger has been reappointed by Governor Greg Abbott to the Texas School Safety Center Board. This panel advises the governor and the state agencies on security issues and strategic planning initiatives. Judge Mosley presides over the 316th District Court. He has served previously on the Governor's Crime Victims Institute Advisory Council. Yesterday was World Water Day, and groups across Texas are working to bring wider attention to what's being done to conserve water. This as the state of Texas is experiencing sizable increase in population and industry. That development is causing the state to lose thousands of acres of open land, impacting our streams and playa lakes. And it highlights the importance of making sure the region will have enough water supply for generations to come.
It's good for the region, it's good for the economy, and it's good for us as we're working to evaluate, future water supplies.
ABC7's Drew Powell reports how conserving water today can have an impact for the future as Texas is expected to eclipse 47 million in population by 2050. Well, thank you for joining us. Time is now 4:39, and we still have much more to come on the show. Here's your morning menu. Chevrolet is stopping production to a current car model. Hear which one it is. And the White House is planning to disband COVID-19 response team as the public health emergency has come to an end. We'll tell you what month they plan to end it. And the final interview of actor Lance Reddick, who passed away unexpectedly earlier this month, with John Wick 4 being his last film. More details on everything in our morning menu coming up next. Stay with us.
I went to like 8 courses for meditating. It's a lot of work.
Mark meditates. It's so irritating.
Next time, Kiefer Sutherland and Dove Cameron.
This morning at 9 on ABC7. Coming up on Wheel, meet our talented friend Nathan.
What is a record for doing those things?
I actually have a Texas